Welcome into episode 8 of Rip and Rock. Your 8th, my 7th.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
You were sorely missed this past week, I will say.
Oh, I was sore as well. Yeah, just that's do we want to get into it? Do we want to just address the elephant in the room?
Yes, because and the thing is, because everyone probably thinks that it was, hey, he had a big birthday.
No one knows the story yet.
Hey, Rock, the mic is yours, man.
The mic is mine. All right. Well, you know what? Here we go. So my 30th birthday was last Saturday, June 17th. And it ended up being a surprise birthday party. Shout out to my girlfriend, Ariana.
MVP.
I had no clue. So we end up getting everyone together. I walk in. My friends from Huntsville, Alabama. My friend who lives in Charlotte, North Carolina now. Bunch of my boys from Levittown, Pennsylvania. I got my mom and dad, my girlfriend's mom and dad, my dad's friend, just a bunch of people who are important parts and pieces of my life, who I really love a lot. We're there. So I spent about 30 minutes there. I'm telling you, man, I didn't drink that much at all. You have a few drinks. As the night would have gone on, oh yeah, it would have been bad. But probably 45 minutes goes by. I'm eating a chicken wing, and I have an issue where my esophagus sometimes tightens up when I eat food, because I eat fast. I just shovel food into my mouth like a barbarian. That's just who I am.
Yeah.
And a lot of my friends have knocked me over the years for that, and I just laugh it off. But this time it got me, because I ended up coughing up blood. I was in excruciating pain. It felt like I was getting just punched, stabbed. It felt like there was a fire lit inside of my body. And I ended up going to the ER, and I spent 12 hours at the hospital in the emergency room. Still don't know what's wrong with me, but I feel better. But yeah, that's why I missed last week. That's why I was off the next couple of days after that. It was not an enjoyable 30th birthday. They say it's all downhill from there. That's the saying when you turn 30. It actually was all downhill from there, but I guess it could only go up from here, right?
It's got to. I don't think that's how it's supposed to be. Welcome to your 30s. Let's go to the ER.
Well, it was.
But it was.
It was indeed.
And the thing was, is I texted you being, hey, hope you're feeling all right, next day, because, the Saturday night happens, and I had family in town, and all of a sudden, because I would have come there if I didn't have my family stuff, and all of a sudden I'm thinking, oh, he's hurting. He must have had a long night.
I was hurting.
And not for the reasons that I thought.
No.
And, in all seriousness, glad you're all right.
Thanks, man.
Weird circumstance.
Have no clue what it is still. I think I ate something that scratched my throat, and it ended up causing me to bleed a little bit. And then as a result, it kind of went down into my esophagus. And I'm still hurting a little bit. When I eat food, certain foods, because I like spicy food, so I'm trying to stay away from that. My back starts to tighten up for some reason. Any doctors out there want to let me know? I'm actually scheduled to get an ultrasound on Tuesday and figure it out. But who the heck knows, man? I hope everything's good. All my vitals came back and I'm fine. I'm healthy, so it's weird.
Yeah, it's just one of those freak things. Hopefully we just get the answers we need to hear. I was thinking about spicy food. I love spicy food in a different way. I was at this, I think, Lebanese restaurant with my girlfriend's dad. Just quick story with that. Talk about spice. He said, hey, try this pepper. It's got a really good taste to it. And of course I fell for it. Started crying. My mouth was on fire for 20 minutes. I asked for milk. They didn't have milk. And I think I ate a combination of hummus and there wasn't tzatziki because that's Greek. But yeah, anyway, spice gets you. But my distress was only temporary. You've had to deal with yours for the last week, but we're okay because it's great having you back. In all seriousness, riding solo is tough. But the biggest thing is you can just do the rundown for me now.
You held it down, man. So I guess I'm obligated to do the rundown by myself. In past episodes, you've kind of knocked me for kind of taking it and doing it on my own, but I guess I have to. I owe that to you.
No, it's not knocked. It's actually it's recommended if you take the rundown for me. So go ahead, Rock.
Let's start this off and get into the episode, what people really care about, not my medical issues, so I do apologize for that. The Orioles pick up a big series win over the Seattle Mariners with a 3-2 victory on Sunday, and it's someone new stepping up every single game, it seems like, Rip, for these Baltimore Orioles. Anthony Santander, Tony Taters, he is catching fire at the right time. We knew he would. You said he would. Here he is. He's heating up, just like my stomach. Jordan Westburg, he's expected to be called up. Jeff Passan just dropping a passing bomb 30, 40, 50 minutes after the O's beat the Mariners. So that's huge. The O's number 3 prospect expected to be in the lineup on Monday. What that means for this team and for Jordan Westburg going forward. Your Orioles MVP at this point in the season. I put this out on Twitter. This is our Twitter question of the night on Fox 45, Sports Unlimited. And a lot of people are saying it's a team thing. We're going to break down who our team MVPs are up to this point in the season. You got to pick a player. That's what I'm saying. People are saying teams. That's not how MVP works. I'm sorry. So we're going to go with that. But I do respect it. I do respect the team aspect.
MVT, most valuable team.
Most valuable team. Rips tips. I don't even know what you're talking about today. So you want to take that? You can speak.
What am I talking about? Keep staying the course and focusing on believing in you. Believing you. I have you had the roll on words earlier with, trying to figure out saying Ben Boom.
Ben Boom.
For some reason, I say believing in. It's believing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yes, it is. It's
okay.
Believing.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to talk about is staying the course, focus on you, and I'll dive into that when the time comes.
And last but not least, Elly De La Cruz and the Cincinnati Reds come to town for a 3-game series with the O's beginning tonight, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3-game series. This kid is must-watch TV. And I'm telling you what, O's fans, go see him. We said the same about Shohei Ohtani. They're not on the same level right now. Shohei is a different animal. But Elly De La Cruz is one of the up-and-coming, potentially greats in this sport. 21 years old. Already hit for the cycle. I mean, we're going to break that all down.
It's going to be a fun series of the Reds.
I'm going to a game with my dad at Camden Yards. I'm buying tickets.
And for people that don't know, this is the preview for when we do it. The Reds are surging, Rock.
They are surging right now.
Great for the game. We'll dive into that.
Let's jump into it, man. The O's pick up the big series win over the Seattle Mariners. They dropped the first one. Their worst loss of the season by far, 13-1. It's kind of a disgraceful performance, and it ended with Josh Lester on the mound, serving up ephus pitches. Some of them were actually good.
Yeah, hey, I think he had a scoreless inning, no?
And a strikeout, but that's not how you want to end the game. Then the O's go out, rattle off 2 straight wins to pick up a series win, 6-4, 3-2. Ryan McKenna, man. Mac, the unlikely hero in that game. I did not expect that. When he stepped into the batter's box, for him to hit a home run, first walk-off of his MLB career, I think it's his 6th home run career-wise at the professional level. I mean, this guy's not a home run hitter, and to go out and do that, that was awesome. And then to follow it up with the performance today, Anthony Ben Boom steps up, and he has like a bloop Texas Leaguer single down the right field line, and Jorge Mateo scores from first because, of course, he does. He's one of, if not the fastest player in the league. So great stuff from the Birds. Big series win in front of the home crowds. Fans are loving it. They're buzzing again.
You know what was interesting about, first off with Mac? So, first, I'm so happy for him. Just because he's really been the extra outfielder. That's been his role. Some people really haven't gotten over the fact that first weekend for second game of the season. And, it is what it is, right? But Matt kept working. He kept focusing on it, and we'll dive more into that later. But I think the cooler part of this, or the craziest thing is, he replaced Santander, who was 4 for 4. And I don't know if I would have had I don't know if I was hyped if I would have had the guts to do that.
He's got guts, man.
But man, what a move it turned out to be, because Matt comes in. So that spot, Santander's spot on the day, went 5 for 5 with 2 home runs and 4 RBIs in a 6-4 game, just pushing all the right buttons. Was just awesome to see. And above all, just isn't it the same thing, Rock? It's rinse, cycle, repeat for these Orioles. If you knock them down once, they're going to come back, and they're going to keep fighting, And here they are, not getting swept, but then guess what? They didn't get swept by winning game 2, and then they win the series. Get the shirts ready. What is the motto, Rock?
I forget.
No, you do not.
Don't get swept. Don't lose. Hold on. I'm trying to think right now.
Oh, my goodness.
Avoid sweeps, win series.
Almost.
Okay.
Win the series, and if you don't win the series, avoid sweeps.
I just said that.
It's the same thing.
I just said that.
Yeah, but it's better the other way.
Yeah, but anyway. All right, are you going to print the T-shirts?
Yeah, print the shirts. Print them.
Okay.
Print them because this is why.
Rip and rock merch coming.
Yeah, exactly. And this is why this team is 46-29. Or 47-29? I'm sorry.
47-29.
My bad. Had it mixed up. 47-29. There's a reason why this team is 18 games over 500 and 3 over. This Mariners team, by the way, don't let the record fool you. I mean, I know they're going through some struggles. I get it. But this is a team that still has aspirations. They were a really good team last year. And I still think they are a team that can get going in the second half of the season. But to your point, it's just another guy stepping up for the O's on any given night.
Talk about Hyde and the decision to pull Santander for McKenna. I'll say this about Hyde. If he's set on a decision, he's going to make that decision. He's not a guy to second guess himself. And I think that's what this team needs.
You need that leadership. You need that the person that is leading your team. And you can look at it and say, well, the front office, they're calling shots. Your manager is in there every night with you. And when he's in there, you want to believe that he is doing everything in his power to give your team the best chance to win. And it might not always be popular, but you're seeing he has pushed a lot of right buttons this year. And his intentions are there. And then you do something like this where you don't even second guess, where you go, I trust in Brandon Hyde. He's gotten a lot of crap, I thought, early on about, he mismanages. And he's not going to be perfect, and that's everyone's opinion. But you know what he's doing? He's managing the third best team in baseball right now.
It's incredible to say, man. And he could have taken Kyle Bradish out in the 7th after that walk, but he decided to keep him in. Bradish, 103 pitches in the game, and he had a really strong outing. 7 innings strong, 2 earned. I believe it was 7 strikeouts. Let me double check my facts right there. Yep, 7 Ks, 2 walks. He's now 4-3 on the season. And that's got to be a confidence booster for Kyle Bradish. Hyde said after the game that it was his second best outing. I think he called the one against Houston, the Stros, the first, his best outing that he had. And this was number 2. I mean, he was really good. Aside from that 2-run homer that just barely made it inside the right field foul pole and ended up on Utah Street. I mean, he had a nearly perfect day as far as that. Only give up 2 hits on the day.
I mean, the thing with Brad, what you're seeing is what I got to experience when I played with him. Is his stuff is really stinking good. I mean, this dude has it. Now he's got to be more consistent, but when he is on, he can do this. He can go 7, give up 2, 7 Ks. He's also had it where he can just completely dominate and blank a team where they can't even get runs across. And if he can continue to be around the zone, this is a Kyle Bradish, and I saw it in spring training as well. And I mentioned to people, I've been very bullish on him because of what I've seen. His biggest thing was, could he control his emotions? And he has started to control his emotions, figure out who he is. And this young pitching staff that everyone had concerns with, it's actually a lot better than people are giving them credit for.
So Bradish goes 7 strong, then Denny Coulomb comes in. He has been fantastic.
He's one of the many great pickups this year for the Orioles.
Fantastic, man. 1 inning, no hits, strikeout, lefty on lefty. You can put him against right. It doesn't matter. I mean, this dude, he's just got the it factor right now. And he picked up his 16th hold of the season. And then Felix Bautista comes in and just fires off 102-mile-per-hour heaters he was dealing and closes it out.
Do you think Bautista worried too much about the previous day?
No, not at all.
And that's what makes him so special right there. He doesn't care. It's not going to rattle him on past performances. So what? It's going to happen. He's not going to have everything go his way. He's going to move on, and not just move on, he's going to dominate you in the process. And I want to do one more thing with Kyle Bradish here for a second. The importance of getting 7. because you knew you wanted to try to go longer, especially with Cano as dominant as he was or has been in that 8th inning role for the Orioles. He wasn't going to be up really for this game. So having Kyle go 7 to bridge the gap and let Danny come in and do his thing was absolutely massive, especially in a close game. Again, these are little things that you're not thinking of for not you. I'm just saying in general that we're not thinking of that a difference of a team saving their arms, finding ways to get to their guys that they need to get, and you're walking away with, I mean, the Orioles are one of the best teams in close games, Rock.
And I don't know if they like being in these close games. I don't know if the fan base likes being in these close games.
No, the fan base definitely does not.
But it's exciting, and it's exciting baseball. Yeah, you look at Bradish's pitch count before we move on. 103 pitches. Coulomb comes in. He throws 13 pitches, 9 of them for strikes. And then Bautista comes in, 17 pitches, 14 for strikes. So you're saving arms in the bullpen by doing this as well, by letting a guy go 7 innings, 103 pitches, and do his thing. And he was very efficient. Aside from that 2-run homer he gives up, heck of a day for Kyle Bradish. Heck of a start, and he gets the win. Moving on, Anthony Santander has been on a heater. Tony Taters is mashing homers in the month of June. And it seems like right now, there's no slowing him down. This is the same guy that led the team in homers last season. He got off to kind of a slow start to the season, and there were questions about, okay, can he maintain that, the stability of being that guy and leading the team in homers again and doing what he did last year? We talked about it on previous episodes. It was like, he's slowing down right now. It's a very slow start to the season for him, but at some point, this guy is going to heat up, and here it is. I mean, he's playing great baseball. And that home run robbery of Julio Rodriguez, all J-Rod could do was smile. That was awesome to see.
I mean, Tony he's really one of the best outfielders in baseball right now. And that's not an exaggeration. I know that people would say, oh, you're being a homer. Well, also, this is an Orioles podcast, so we are going to talk a lot about the Orioles. But I like to be objective. I like to be realistic. Tell me right now, after the month of April, who has been as, I don't want to say as dominant, but if you look at his numbers compared to others, he's been one of the best players. I mean, since the month of April ended, and he hit 205 for that month of April, he hit 337 in May, had 7 home runs. He now has 5 home runs on this month in June. So he's had 12 homers.
And 5 in the last 6 games, mind you.
Yeah, and so he's getting hot. He's leading the team in RBIs. And so he's on pace again right now. And if you really even want to dive into what it looked like in the past for him, his 2022 splits, that it's kind of crazy how he's flown so under the radar. It's really because his average is higher this year in comparison to last year. He's hit 270. 173, whatever it is at the current moment. But last year, this is a guy, Rock, at this point last year, he had 14 home runs through the month of June. Where is he at right now? 14 home runs. And he finished with 33 jacks. He's on pace to do what he's doing, and he might even have a better statistical year than he did. And then last year was pretty darn good.
Last year, average-wise, July was his best month. He hit 316 in the month of July, 224 in April, 227 in May, 256 in June. Then July, he goes on and hits 316, 5 home runs, 17 RBIs. Then he kind of teetered off a little bit. But this is where you want him heating up pre-All-Star break, kind of finding his groove, finding his rhythm, and being the Anthony Santander that Orioles fans know and love. Tony Taters. Well, keep mashing him, man.
And again, everyone always thought that where would this team be? Who's going to stay? Who's going to go? There's so many things going on. You know what? I think what we're finding out is that the Orioles had a lot of really great players in their organization already, and they needed to have a little bit more credit and a chance to blossom. Santander is a perfect example. There's a lot of other Orioles we could talk about. There's a whole other list, and we could talk about the whole, when the MVPs go around. But Anthony deserves your attention. And whatever he's doing, no one try to change him. Don't talk to him, to let him do his own thing, whatever he wants to do, because he is one of the hottest hitters on the planet right now.
He is. He's playing some really good baseball in the field and at the plate as well. Passan drops a bomb on Twitter. I have his notifications on. You have his notifications on. Baseball fans, it's like he is the Adrian Wojnarowski for basketball fans, any of you that are listening. you don't like baseball, I hope you do. I hope you start to like baseball. Jeff Passan's the guy. You have his notifications on because when Jeff Passan tweets, if it's usually breaking news. Sometimes it's not. But in this case, it was about, I want to say like less than an hour after the O's game ended, series finale against the Mariners. Passan just drops one of his Passan bombs, and it was in favor of Orioles fans. It's a big one. Some of you out there, you may have been waiting for this all season long, maybe longer. The Baltimore Orioles are calling up top infield prospect Jordan Westburg, a source told ESPN. The 24-year-old has hit .295, .372, .567 with 18 home runs and 54 RBIs at AAA this season. In his latest Orioles parade of prospects to arrive, he'll be in the lineup tomorrow. Tomorrow meaning Monday. That is the expectation. That is what Jeff Passan tweeted word for word. That is huge. Westburg is the number 3 prospect in this organization. He is a hard-hitting, very good infielder. You can really play him anywhere. He's played different positions for the Tides and in the Orioles farm system. And this is a guy that fans should be excited about because he can really do it all, man. Watching him. It's watched him since he was back at Mississippi State when he was playing with Justin Foscue. Mm-hmm. Those two were that tandem in the infield. Like, this guy is really, really talented and really good.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've told people this before. The timing of it, if you told me he would have been called up a month ago, I would have said he was ready. If you told me he wouldn't get called up for another month, I tell you I wouldn't be surprised because in this business, every team has different reasons and what's going on. The point was Jordan was coming. Like, he was going to be in the big leagues at one point or another. Like, his moment is now. And I'm so happy to see that because he had to wait patiently. And it's hard, especially when the context I did last episode of it was when the team is doing so many things right, how much do you want to shake up? But now Westburg's forced the hand and he's going to be out there. And I remember seeing him in spring training in 2021, getting to meet him. The bat just came off different too. A lot of hard contact. It was loud. But I think the other thing that he doesn't get a lot of credit for, he has a tremendous glove and he is very versatile. And if you go back and watch any of the games that he's played in Norfolk this season, you can see a highlight reel of just his defensive plays. He's going to bring a nice spark to this Orioles team, but a team that doesn't even need a spark. But the hope is he can hit the ground running. But we mentioned Rock on the Fox 45, our hit. If O's fans are expecting him to come up and do what he just did in the minor leagues, you got to temper the expectations. He could hit the ground running, but there is a chance he could have some struggles. So bear with him.
Bear with him, like we said, with Adley Rutschman, with Gunnar Henderson, with guys getting called up. Like, they're not going to be perfect right off the bat.
Yeah, want to go down the list? I'll tell you right now again.
Patient. Yeah, go down the list.
Cedric Mullins.
Absolutely.
Got sent down. He was a starting center fielder in 2019. Got sent all the way back down to AA. Austin Hayes struggled on his way up. Santander struggled on his way up. Adley Rutschman, Gunnar Henderson. Am I missing somebody else in this list right now?
Might be.
You want to go through the pitchers right now? Kyle Bradish, Dean Kramer, guys that are having success right now. Oh, and by the way, even though Batista came up and was great, I still want to remind people he was released in the minor leagues.
Just naming the whole team.
Yeah. But again, what my point is, to become great or have the success, it doesn't always happen overnight. Ryan O'Hearn, right now, success. He had his struggles, and here he is. So my point, Westburg is someone you need to be excited about, but to expect that everyone's going to hit the ground running, I just want to temper the expectations. I'm so happy for Westy because not only is he a great player, he really is a great person, and you like to see good people get their chances, and his time in Baltimore seems to be now.
Brings us to our next point. Westburg could very well help this team out in a playoff run. He could be solid at any position they put him at. It's just a wait-and-see kind of thing. What is this kid going to do when he's up here with the O's? We're going from prospects to guys that have been with this team for a while now. And I want to ask you this, because this was our Twitter question of the night, Sunday night, Sports Unlimited. And I got to ask you, gave one answer. Let's see if you stick to that answer. You kind of teeter off and give another one. Who's your O's MVP at this point in the season? A lot of people who responded said that it's the team, either the 25 or the 26 guys that are playing, that are seeing the field. It's them. I get that. I love that. I love that answer because
No, you don't.
I do, and this is why. Because when's the last time that you could say that about this ball club?
It is very true.
It's been a little bit. But the reason why I don't like it so much is because that's not the question. It's like, who is the MVP, the most valuable player? If we were giving out a most valuable team award, all right, fine. But most valuable player goes to one person. Who would it be for you and why?
So many names you could run through. So we talked about Santander. I'm going to stick with the name that I said on our TV hit because I'm going to stay consistent. But could you make the case for a lot of other players? Absolutely. But that player is Austin Hayes, and I'm going to tell you why right now.
Why did you have to steal my answer, man?
I said it on our TV clip. You know what? Well, hey, we can be in agreement, and I'll give you a second one after this. Why do you think Austin Hayes is yours? How about we'll start with that?
Austin Hayes, for me, what he is able to do with his arm, he has one of the strongest arms, if not the strongest arm on the team. What he's able to do in the outfield is invaluable. He's great. Batting-wise, let's talk about that at the plate. Number one, he leads the team in average, 318. Runs with 40. Hits with 82. Doubles with 21. Triples, he's second. Homers, he's 1, 2, it's 4. I believe he's tied for 5th. And then RBIs, where's Hayes? A little bit down the list. But statistically speaking, Austin Hayes is the team's best player.
Oh, and
if you're looking at statistics, if you're a numbers guy.
Last thing, statistics, what people care about a lot is OPS. OPS means on base percentage and slugging. He leads the team in OPS as well, with an 864 as of right now, ahead of guys like Santander. The funny thing is who's behind Santander is Gunnar Henderson, who had all the quote-unquote struggles. Just shows you that guy is going to be unbelievable. But to your point, we just listed off so many things that Austin Hayes has done right, and there's a chance right now, Rock, that he's not going to be an all-star.
And that was the case last year. Remember, there was argument that he should have been an all-star last season with what he was doing, and he didn't end up getting the call or getting voted in or going there. And I think this is a guy that, for the casual MLB fan, I don't know if they're paying attention to Austin Hayes. Well, why? Because he's not a household name. And is that his fault? No, but he's playing some really, really, really good baseball right now.
And the All-Star game too there is a popularity component to it.
There is for sure. Without a doubt.
That's why. So when people are voting, they want to have that. They want to see their favorite players. And a lot of people around the nation or around the world, they're not going to go out and say one of my favorite players in the world is Austin Hayes. And that's whether that's fair or not, because you want to reward guys for being one of the best. That's the All-Star game. But I do understand with guys that have, or maybe aren't as playing as well, but they carry that weight. You know how special some of these other players are, that they deserve their credit too. But Austin Hayes deserves everything that's happened because, again, imagine, we've heard all this about who the Orioles going to keep, trading this player. Is Hayes on the chopping block? Who's coming up? And how has Hayes responded? By putting up this season. And I love the fact, and I was so happy he got through that little scare of an injury where he had to sit for a couple games with having that, I think it was a cut, because he really has proven himself to this team as being, just like Cedric Mullins is, the value of Cedric, Hayes has become invaluable to the squad.
He really has, man. And, maybe he goes if the players solely get to vote, because I think he has a lot of respect around the league. But like you said, popularity contest, that's kind of what the All-Star game is. And I'm sure if he was eligible or could be in, the guy we're going to talk about in a little bit on the Cincinnati Reds, he'd probably be there considering what he just did. It's the hype. It's the hype train that these players kind of ride and they get on. Not saying that person, Elly De La Cruz, is going to teeter off at all. He's a really good baseball. I mean, this dude, 21 years old, doing what he did. We'll get into that. Yeah, Rips tips first and foremost. You want to get into?
Yeah, but last thing I want to say before we move on, and again, the context, Hayes has he is tied for the 4th highest batting average, actually tied for 3rd for the highest batting average in all of Major League Baseball.
Yeah. I feel like that's not getting talked about enough.
It's Luis Ariz, I might be pronouncing the last name wrong. I think it's Ariz. Yeah. Is hitting 1/100th of a percentage below 400. And then you have Ronald Acuna, and then there's Austin Hayes and Bo Bichette. That's how good he has been. And the other guys that are hitting below him as far as average-wise, Freddie Freeman, Yandy Diaz, Nick Castellanos, Shohei Ohtani, guys that are having really good years, but it just goes to show you how good of a year Austin Hayes is having. Anyway, Rips Tips, we're moving on today, and we were talking a little bit about how staying the course, being focused on what you have to, what you can control, and kind of blocking the outside noise. And I think it's a really important life lesson in general, because so much, I think we want to please everyone. I think that's, for me at least, I'll say, I don't want anyone to hate me, but I also
I hate you.
What? Anyway, so, wow. Hey, you know what? Maybe I should go back to another solo episode.
Sorry.
That's okay.
That was rude. Some guy just made fun of my nostrils on Twitter, so I'm very upset. The thing you put out, that's why I wasn't making eye contact with you. Because I was like, how could you, man? How could you?
If it makes you feel better.
The thing you tweeted out, this guy goes, he said 3 things. I'm very jealous for the Rip and Rock gift. The Yeti that my girlfriend got me. If you haven't seen it, check it out on Twitter. How would you grade Rocco's pose? Don't know how I feel about the soft smile. Guess we had a lot to talk about tonight, huh? And this guy goes, logo is cool. The nostrils bother me the most. And the answer to all of it is go-ohs. And I'm like, listen, I have huge nostrils. I can flare them. And like, I know that. Like, my friends would always say, like, they'd be like, dude, like, you have caves for nostrils. Cause like, I just have a big nose in general.
You do.
But I said, come on, not the nostrils. And he goes, haha, they're good, strong nostrils. I don't blame you for peacocking them.
Don't you love this banter? You're welcome.
I think that's funny. I can't control.
I love
the way
that.
I flare my. Actually, I can.
I don't have the. I can't do the nostril flare. No, I don't know how to do that. No.
See how I do them?
That's impressive. Wow, that's even more than I thought. Okay, it's a little. I can't. It's a little intimidating.
Look, I think you can see my tiny brain if I. See it?
Yep, there it is.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing I will say, I have been called an avatar, like the Big Blue Avatar, like the movie.
You do wear blue a lot, so do I.
I know, but someone said, like, oh, he goes. Long story short, with it, I got told. Someone took a picture of me and said, "Look, he's so hideous. He looks like an avatar." And someone goes, well, I don't think he's that bad. He's not like particularly blue, but I can see a little bit of the resemblance. And I'm like, I don't even know what to say about that, because I don't think there's any resemblance to me and what is in a fantasy world as an avatar. But that's beside the point. Back to controlling what we can control, because you can't control if someone's going to say something about you, right?
No.
I
like that guy though. He went back and forth. That's cool. He's a cool guy.
See, we have great supporters and people that are on social media. By the way,
shout out to Be More Backer. That's a guy on Twitter. That was funny.
I
enjoy the banter.
We
man.
love the banter.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all about it. If you think we're doing something, give it to us. This is great. But I will say this: there's a lot of, with all the good moments like this, the good back and forth, there's going to be a lot of negatives. And so the Rips tip is just essentially staying the course for what you need to do.
Yeah.
Understand you're not going to please everybody, and you have to believe in yourself. And so the example in life, I grew up with the expectations that no matter what I did as a player, I was always going to be compared to my dad. No matter what I did, that was going to be something I couldn't deal with. And again, some people weren't going to like me just based off the name and look at me and go, well, they would assume that, you lived a life like this. And I'm not saying I didn't. Like, there's a lot of I'm very grateful for a lot of things, but growing up, you feel like people had a perception of you without knowing you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go out and play bad on the field, they're going to say something. They're going to doubt you. So the point is with the Orioles right now, because I'm going to tie back into this, Ryan McKenna had that moment, and I mentioned it earlier. He could have let that affect him and impact him the way it goes. And a lot of people in the Orioles community still don't feel very highly. There are a lot of people that support him and a lot that don't. Did that affect him? No. He put his blinders on, went to work, hit that walk-off home run. Aaron Hicks, everyone in New York hates Aaron Hicks now for multiple reasons. One, because he didn't play well in New York down the stretch. And two, now he is balling out for the Orioles.
He hustled them.
Yeah, which is amazing if we're an O's fan. No, but the thing is, He could have let everyone say how bad he was and believed that hype, but he said, you know what? I'm going to a new place and I'm going to go out and figure it out, and he did.
Sometimes you need that new start, and it's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
To the guys that the Orioles got in the offseason, it's a breath of fresh air. It's a new start, and sometimes you need that. Sometimes in work, sometimes at home, and there are certain extremes where, one way or another, but that's what we're getting at. To your point with the expectations that were put on you, man, and like how people feel about you or may not feel about you, I didn't know what to expect from you when I first met you. I didn't. I didn't know how this was going to go. And like knowing you, knowing who you are, and like knowing what you're about, and drinking your venti Americana iced coffee now.
It's gone.
Yeah, I don't even. What color was that coffee, by the way? It was like pink, purple, something.
No. It was
actually like a brown coffee.
It was a light brown. It just went down too quickly.
All right. Well, it looked kind of like, I don't know.
Were you about to say something nice about me? Or
yeah,
no?
I was. I will continue.
Let's go back to the nice comment about Ryan.
Nice comment about Ryan. No, but everything you're about, I like, Matt, and like the people out there that don't want to give you a chance because of the last name, or they think one way or another about you or who you are. Like, it's like, whatever. Like, you don't need them in your life, and it is what it is. And I've like, while I can't connect with you on that standpoint, having the last name Ripken and going through like life with that last name, because that's a lot to carry on your shoulders. I say this to myself. I say it to everyone all the time. Like, there are going to be people out there that just simply don't like you. It could be because of the way you look. It could be because of the way you talk. It could be because of the opinions that you may or may not agree with on a certain level. I like to say, give everyone a chance. No matter what their views are, opinions are about you, give them a chance, formulate your own opinion about them. Because I'm telling you what, it could really be a good, positive vibe, and you could really get along with that person and click with them.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, case in point, like what we're doing, but like, I did not like you when we first started. I just didn't know what to do. That's what I'm saying.
Again, it was the perception. Sometimes we sit there, and if for so long you're on there and you're looking at what people are thinking or what they might think of you, you're going to drive yourself insane, number one, and you're going to start doubting yourself. And who cares if other people doubt yourself? I think as you move on, I do some lessons, baseball lessons, and the big things I tell younger kids, if you can deal with failing consistently, but then also understanding that there's going to be things that you don't understand, or things are not going to go your way, or you're not necessarily, there's going to be moments where you feel that you're going to feel loved at every moment by everyone. You're not going to please everyone, but if you can understand that if you are comfortable with yourself and you continue to push forward, focus on you, be the best version